All of you underline the word small enterprises. Let us start the session with a nice quote. Today's quote is, volume. All things are difficult before they are easy. What do you understand from this? Initially everything is difficult. After some time, same difficult thing becomes easy. How does it become easy? Magic? No. What is the secret behind? Practice. Initially, it could be driving a car, riding a bike, cooking also. Initially difficult, but after some time, same thing becomes easy. So all that you have to remember, practice with a positive attitude. That makes all the difference. Useful or not useful? Let us go to the phrasal verb of the day. Today's phrasal verb has 2 or 3 meanings. We'll see the basic meaning. What is the phrasal verb for today? Put up with. 3 words important. Put up with. And some phrasal verbs have usually 2 words, some have 3 words. This is the one with 3 words. What does it mean? To accept or continue to accept an unpleasant situation. Underline unpleasant situation. It has a negative connotation. Or experience or someone who behaves unpleasantly. Either you have to deal with an unpleasant situation or you have to deal with a person who is not, who does not behave in a pleasant manner. And usually we say, I have to put up with someone, I have to put up with something. We have to use a helping verb, have to. Have you got the meaning? Have a look at the examples. What is the first example here? He is so moody. Someone is very moody. I don't know how she puts up with him or why she puts up with him. Is it easy to deal with moody people or difficult to deal with moody people? Today happy, tomorrow sad. You get confused. So very difficult to handle. He is so moody. I don't know why she puts up with him. Second example, it is a different connotation. They have a lot to put up with. Means what? I have a lot to put up with. It means I have a lot of problems to deal with. What is the meaning you see in brackets? They have a lot of difficulties, problems, hardships. An important phrasal verb. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. Today not too many words, one thing, and many words are familiar words. The very first word, a familiar word. I'm sure you all know. What is the first word over here? Pursue. You are all pursuing, trying to pursue a banking career. Pursue a banking career. So part of speech you have to guess. We'll start. It is a verb. It's a regular verb. Write the part of speech that will help in the long run. Follow or chase someone or something. Underline the word chase. Generally the word chase has a negative connotation. But here it has a positive connotation. So underline chase and put the positive symbol. Usually it's a negative word. Chase someone, chase something. But here a positive thing. Deliberation is an important word. Only one girl has responded. I want all of you to respond. See here, right or wrong doesn't matter. The moment I read the word, before I complete you have to tell. That is the spirit. Deliberations. Please write noun. But here, this is an important word for 2 reasons. We have another word. Write the word deliberate. What is the meaning of the word deliberate? He has done it deliberately. Write intentional. Deliberately means intentionally. A different meaning altogether. Deliberate act. Intentional act. But coming to the word deliberations, which is a noun, long and careful consideration or discussion. And right next to the word, it goes with a formal situation. Formal. F-O-R-M-A-L. Formal situation. Formal situation means what? In a company, the top managers discuss a problem, deliberations. If governments at the official level discuss, then we use the term deliberations. It goes with a very formal context. Let us go to the next one. How do you pronounce this? Anyhow, first, what is the word communicate? Part of speech. Noun, please write noun. And there should be the stroke here. While designing, I could not. Now, above the letter E, put a stroke. And how do you pronounce this? Communique. Communique means an official announcement, underline official announcement or statement, especially one made to the media, underline the word media. Usually what happens whenever there are bilateral talks after the meeting, the government official or the president or the prime minister makes an official statement to the media. Then we say communique, an important word. In bank exams, I remember this was given once or twice. That way it is an important word. Let us go to the next one. What is the next word here? Scuttle. To give up a plan. Please tell the part of speech. Verb. Very good. Part of speech, verb. It's a regular verb. To give up a plan or activity or spoil a possibility for success. Two meanings. One, give up. What is the meaning of the phrasal verb give up? Stop trying. Also write the word quit. Stop trying or quit. I give one quote, I have given many a time. Winners never quit, quitters never win. Winners never give up. This is a long journey preparing for competitive exams. You will come across a lot of problems, a lot of hardships. And once or twice you may think giving up means what? Quitting. Because you find a subject difficult. However hard you try, your score does not improve. But then you should recollect this quote. What is the quote? Winners never quit, quitters never win. Going back to the word, scuttle, one meaning quitting, another meaning spoil a possibility for success. A different meaning altogether. Failing. A bit difficult. Flailing companies. What is the part of speech? Please write adjective. To move energetically in an uncontrolled way. In the context also, it goes with industries. Flailing industries. Means rapidly growing. Imagine something grows rapidly. Today if you look at big cities and towns also, because we have a lot of unemployed youth, so many institutes, a lot of institutes, unfortunately, everyone says I am the number one. We are the number one. You agree or you disagree? And there are two terms you have to know. First you write the word plethora. Plethora of institutes. Plethora means excess, abundance. Today, if you go to Delhi, Hyderabad also, plethora of coaching institutes. This is the word you have to know. And sometimes what happens, because of, imagine they release a notification, Group 2 exam, the date and all. Suddenly into the market, a lot of institutes come into, they hit the market. Then we say they grow rapidly. Please write mushroom growth. Mushroom growth of institutes. Mushroom growth of colleges. Means what? Rapid growth. And we also use a word, when they grow rapidly, we use a word proliferation. Does it sound familiar? Proliferation also means the same. A rapid growth. So all the words are very important words. We'll go to the, I hope you have written these words. Go to the next word. What is the next word you see here? Please put a star mark, compendium. I'm waiting for your response. Write noun. Compendium, noun. A collection of a concise, underline the word concise. Concise means a brief. Brief, B-R-I-E-F. Brief but detailed information. Book may be, it is like, imagine, I will make you understand. Imagine someone has published a book, 1,000 pages. I take the most important information from that book. I republish 100 pages. Actual book, how many pages? 1,000. My book, 100. Then we use the term compendium. Means essence of a particular book, whatever is there in a particular book. A collection of concise but detailed information about a particular subject, especially in a book or other publication. Usually it goes with a book. Other publications are magazines, journals. Parley is an important word. Noun. An important word, not a regular word. You have to put a star mark. To meet in order to discuss something, especially how to end an argument or a war. In the context, it relates to the Russia-Ukrainian war. It talks about how to stop. Generic usually, tell the part of speech, generic drugs, adjective, generic drugs, write the combination, generic drugs. India, Hyderabad is known as the drug capital of India, not the other drugs. I am talking about generic drugs, bulk drugs we also say. Generic means characteristic of or relating to a class or group of things, but actual meaning not specific. What do you understand from not specific? Imagine a company produces a particular drug. The company has a right. They have to go in for patent rights. If they get the patent rights, other companies cannot use for some time that particular drug. They cannot manufacture. But if any company can manufacture a particular drug, then we use the term generic. Without any copyright, without any patent rights, we use the term generic. Have you got it? Next one, pertain. Now you don't simply tell verb. Tell me regular or irregular. A regular verb. Pertain, pertained, pertained. Pertains to a particular problem, relates to a particular problem. Be appropriate, related, or applicable to. We have got this word a few times. Resonate. Resonate can be, it's a verb, a regular verb. A resonating voice. Resonating is a noun form, at the same time adjective form. And write the combination it goes with, a voice, sound. To produce, increase or fill with sound by vibrating. When some people speak, you can feel the vibration in the voice. A resonating voice. Voice is a typical combination word. Bolster we have got many a time. First you tell the part of speech. It is a verb, bolstered, regular verb. Support or strengthen. Strengthen is also a verb. Strengthened, regular verb. It's a formal word, bolster. Nudge. It can be a verb, it can be a noun. He gave a nudge, noun. He nudged me, verb. But nudge has two different meanings. One meaning goes with everyday English. Nudge means you push the one next to you slightly with your elbow. That means you give a nudge to that person. See, master is watching you. Okay, nudge. But the other meaning in this context, to persuade someone to do something in a gentle way. Look at the meaning. To encourage or persuade someone to do something in a way that is gentle than forceful. In a gentle manner, you persuade someone to do something, you nudge him. Generally, we don't use in this sense. Tweak. This is a live session. Write noun, both noun and verb. A fine adjustment to a mechanism or system. Tweaked. It's a regular verb. It is a noun. Next one, put a star mark first. Tell me part of speech. Very good. Please write idiom. Also write next to it red tapeism. Red does not change, but write red tapeism. You can say red tape. You can also, even the color here is red. You can say red tapeism, but not conspicuous. So red tapeism, nothing but bureaucratic hurdles or bureaucratic impediments, excessive bureaucracy or adherence to official rules and formalities beyond the limit. In the past, an industrialist, imagine, wanted to start a company. He had to submit a lot of documents, visit the government offices many a time, and wait with the fingers crossed for almost 6 months or 1 year to get the license to start an industry. Why? Because of a red tape or red tapeism. Today it is like a single window approval, having a new concept, and many state governments have been doing. Is that the last word? Or do we have some more words? Let us go to the editorial. I am allotting 15 minutes per editorial vocabulary, 15 minutes for editorial analysis, 15 minutes for the exercises. It is very tight. If you cooperate, things go smoothly. Otherwise, we have to skip a few things. Then I spend so much time, I cannot do it here. It doesn't serve the purpose. So I hope you will respond quickly. All for small, underline the word small. You cannot make out what exactly the words mean. But when you read the next part of that, on focus on the small enterprises, underline small enterprises. So you should understand at the outset, when you talk about the manufacturing sector, we have major industries, minor industries, small industries. Here the context is about small, and it touches the medium industries also. What is the main idea of this editorial? India's push for small businesses at the G20 Trade Summit must be pursued. Underline must be pursued. Tell me which voice is it? Active or passive voice? Right, passive voice. We must pursue something. Something must be pursued. So passive voice. First question. Second question, what are the functions of the helping verb must? It has two functions. What are the functions? Tell the key words. One is it conveys the idea that something is compulsory. Very good. And new students write the word compulsory. It is a must. Means what? It is compulsory. What is the second meaning? Obligation imposed by the speaker. Don't write all those words. Simply write personal obligation. We use must to express a personal obligation. I must go. Personal obligation. I must work hard. Personal obligation. It is a must, compulsory. So it must be pursued. That is a stand taken by the editorial. Coming to the actual context, trade and investment ministers of the G20 nations, representing 80% of the world's economy's output. These ministers representing G20 nations, representing how much of economy's output? 80% of the world economy's output. That is substantial. 3/4 of trade flows, again 3/4, that is also substantial. And 3/5, not substantial but almost like more than half, 3/5 of the population concluded their deliberations. Now deliberations means what? Careful discussions, thoughtful discussions in a meeting under India's presidency of the bloc last week. Underline last week. That means which tense are we supposed to use? Where is the verb here? Concluded. Underline the verb concluded. Concluded their deliberations last week. A comprehensive communique. We got the word comprehensive so many times. You should be able to tell the related words, synonyms, holistic, and also write the word exhaustive. Holistic, exhaustive. Comprehensive, holistic, exhaustive, they all mean the same. A comprehensive communique, an official statement given to the media after a particular meeting, was scuttled. Scuttled, what is the meaning you have seen over there? Go to the meaning of the word scuttle. Give up a plan or activity, but second meaning should be used here. Here it goes with what? Scuttled, as China and Russia blocked a reference to geopolitical issues. The members wanted to take up geopolitical issues, but that attempt was blocked or prevented, scuttled by two countries. What are the two countries? One is China, the other one Russia. What could be the reason? You can easily guess what could be the reason. Because of, the editorial talks about the same. Geopolitical issues arising from the conflict in Ukraine. That is the reason. As has been the case since last year's G20 Bali summit. So last summit, Bali summit. Where is Bali? Yes, very good. Yet, underline the word yet. And trailing in the move energetically, that is the meaning I said. Look at the context now. Because it's a new word. Any new word you have to be a little alert. Yet expresses a contrast. Here contrast. But also expresses contrast. But yet goes more with a formal situation. Yet amid, underline the word amid. Amid means what? Surrounded by, in the middle. Amid flailing prospect for global trade means fast moving prospects for global trade and investment in the near term. The G20 nations did agree, underline did agree. Is it a regular pattern or emphatic pattern? I agreed, regular pattern. I did agree, emphatic pattern. Did agree on what? To take joint actions to reaffirm the world's faith in cross-border commerce. Underline the expression cross-border commerce. Generally we say international trade, but here you have a new expression, cross-border, along the border. Means from one country to the other country, commerce, business and investment flows as a route to prosperity and growth for all. So when they resort to or indulge in cross-border commerce, that results in prosperity of all the nations involved. You all know the word prosperity, positive word. The government counted 5 concrete and action-oriented deliverables. Underline the word counted. Also the word concrete already underlined. Tell me what does it mean? The word concrete has many meanings. That is a concrete wall, one meaning. But generally I give 2 words, concrete, abstract. Write the word abstract above the word concrete. Now tell me what is the meaning of concrete? Something you can see or touch. What is the meaning of abstract? Something you cannot see or touch. Concrete also means solid, something tangible. Write 2 more words. Write the word tangible. Write the word intangible. Concrete goals. When we say concrete goals, can be achieved, something like solid. Concrete and action-oriented deliverables. Underline the word deliverables. Means whatever they try to do, bring into existence, we use the term deliverables from the meet, including a dialogue on global standards to bridge. Underline the word to bridge. In this context, bridge is a verb or a noun? Noun generally. Here it is a verb. Bridge the gap. Write one expression. They are trying to bridge the gap. What do you understand? Fill the gap. Remove the gap. Bridge the gap. A dialogue on global standards to bridge regulatory divergences across countries. Divergence means what? Similar or different? Write the word different. Divergent paths. Convergent paths, meeting. Divergent paths, opposite. So divergences across countries and a compendium, a book that has essential information in detail but in brief. On best practices, underline the word practices. Answer immediately, practices, noun or verb in this. Please write noun. Why is it a noun? What is the letter that you have to underline? C. Practices for mutual recognition of qualifications for professional services such as medicine, law and nursing. So it talks about a particular field. For that professional services are required. And what are the fields? Medicine, you need professionals. Law, you need professionals. And nursing also you need professionals. Asserting, underline the word asserting. We have got so many times. Assert. Last week also I tell all the youngsters to be assertive at the workplace once they take up the job. Firm. So nothing wrong in writing. Asserting, emphasizing that the trade track outcomes were the most significant so far. Underline trade track outcomes 1 unit. Trade track outcomes means the results were the most significant. Means what? Were the most important so far. In the G20 parlays. What is the meaning of the word parlays here? Meetings, you can say, to meet and discuss. Parlays in the context means meetings. Next one, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal highlighted the other 3 deliverables as new elements that hold importance for India. So he must have talked about some other things. Here underline highlighted. Highlighted, a regular verb. But highlight can be a verb, can be a noun. Highlights of the issue, noun. Highlighted the other 3 deliverables as new elements that hold importance for India. A generic framework. Generic in the context of specific or not specific? Not specific. A generic framework to map global value chains All of you please underline global value chains. Generally we write one more expression, global supply chains. We talk about supply chains, but here it talks about value chains. Related to supply chains, but doing properly. Essentially to identify the weakest links. Generally what happens, supply chains or value chains, if the chain is strong, things go smoothly. One link in a chain is weak, it results in a disaster. So what are they supposed to do? First identify the weak links and have to make them strong or remove the level of difficulty. A generic framework to map global value chains, essentially to identify the weakest links, underline the weakest links, and mitigate any shocks. We have got the word mitigate so many times. Now you should be able to tell the meaning and also the synonyms. Reduce, a problem, hardship, pain. What are the synonyms? Alleviate, assuage, mitigate. Remember all the three. Mitigate any shocks like those seen during the pandemic. During the pandemic, what happened? The major problem, the supply chains got affected. The value chains got affected. That was the actual problem. Once the supply chain is broken, it becomes a disastrous thing. So here they have to work on the supply chains, and they should not allow something that happened during the pandemic to get repeated. It is a good idea that may prove tricky to execute. It's a good idea to work on your weak links. It is a good idea to work on the value chains and make the value chains or supply chains very strong. But it may prove tricky to execute. Underline the helping verb may. May means a possibility. More chances or less chances? May, more chances. Might, could, should, less chances. May prove tricky. In this context, tricky means not that easy. Not that easy when it comes to what? To execute. Today, if you look at planning, we are all good at planning. The problem comes, where does the problem come? Implementation is the problem. Digitalization of trade documents to ease the flow of goods. Underline the word digitalization of trade documents. Again, if you go to, imagine someone is in export business. He or she has to submit a lot of documents. Not an easy thing to get the export license, and not an easy thing to export products, and documentation plays a vital role. Hard copies, online, which is better? Online is better. So digitalization of trade documents to ease flow of goods. Obviously, when you can submit online, you can avoid the trouble of going to a particular office and making photocopies, all that. And that will result in ease. Already you have got the word ease, means what? Reduce tension or reduce the intensity. I gave example, rain. The rain has eased off after some time. Another meaning, ease means comfort. He spoke with a lot of ease. She sang with a lot of ease. Ease what? Flow of goods and services is welcome. Once they go in for digitalization, that's a good thing, highly appreciable. But the principles identified in the pact, in the deal, pertain to paperwork on transactions such as, so whatever they said, those things are related to the paperwork on transactions such as transport, insurance and storage, not necessarily to government filings for cross-border trade. First they have to work on cross-border trade, then comes all these things. But they focused on paperwork related to transactions such as transport, insurance and storage, not on government filings for cross-border state. That should be done first, then these things come into existence. We'll go to the second part of the editorial. What has been coined? Underline has been coined. Which tense is that? Present perfect, active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. What has been coined as a Jaipur call for action to enhance? Underline the word enhance. Means what? Improve. Micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, access to information may yield quicker and more tangible results. So whatever they have done or they have decided to do may bring in a positive result. Underline the word may yield. Yield means what? Produce in this context. Exactly, very good. Yield what? Quicker and more tangible results. Means what? Concrete results. You can assess the results. You can evaluate the results. Intangible, you cannot do that. The International Trade Center, WTO and UNCTAD, which operate the Global Trade Help Desk, have been urged, underline have been urged. Again, which tense is this? Present perfect active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. Urge means to request a lot, formal word. Have been urged to work with G20 members to upgrade, underline the word upgrade. Upgrade means what? To modify, to deal with the latest things. Their data portal, underline the word data. Answer my question, data takes a singular verb or a plural verb? Both is the answer. I have already told. Datum singular, data plural. If the writer wants to use the word data as a plural of datum, then the writer uses a plural verb. But data is also a collective noun. If the writer wants to use the word data as a collective noun, the writer uses a singular verb. Do remember, because a lot of students ask me, so why data sometimes are, why data sometimes is? Both are correct, depends on the writer's vision, whatever the writer thinks. So here, where is the word data? G20 members to upgrade their data portal for businesses and bridge the information asymmetry. Bridge means to fill the gap. In this context, bridge what? The information asymmetry. Underline the word asymmetry. What is the opposite? Symmetry. Symmetry means what? There is a pattern. No pattern, asymmetrical. And in nature, symmetry, patterns are there. Something that doesn't have the pattern, asymmetrical. That often hinders are, we have got so many times. So means what? Blocks, hindrance, impediment, block, bottleneck, all the words they have to pop up. Hinders small players. This is about small players, something hinders small players, the objective is defeated. The purpose is defeated. This resonates, vibrates with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's plea. Underline the word plea. Plea has two different meanings. One meaning goes with, it's a legal term. Plea means a request. Write the meaning, plea means a request. It also goes with the effective English, need not be a legal term, but all if you write the word, related word, write the word plead. Plead is a verb, pleaded. Plead, pleaded, pleaded, related word. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's plea that G20 ministers strive to, underline strive to. See, there are so many words I have not underlined. The reason behind, we have already got these words many a time. Whenever I come across this strive to, I take your example. You guys are striving hard to achieve success. So strive means what? To work very hard and put in a lot of efforts to achieve something. Strive to help MSMEs, which account for 60 to 70% of employment and 50% of the global GDP. So they play a substantial role, MSMEs. Integrate with global value chains as empowering them translates to social empowerment. So the idea behind, if they empower MSMEs, in a way, it is like translating to societal empowerment. In a way, you are giving that empowerment to the society on a large scale. Because what is the percentage here? 60 to 70% of employment generation and 50% of the global GDP. Substantial figures. How does the editorial end? India, on its part, must also consider steps to bolster, means what? Improve the capacity of its small enterprises. So capacity has to be improved. For one, its nudge for greenfield investments. Its nudge in this context means what? The act of persuading greenfield investments. It's a new term, underline greenfield investments. Through productivity linked incentives across sectors can be tweaked to create a separate window. Tweak, one of the meanings, to twist. Write the word twist. Another meaning, a fine adjustment. In this context, a fine adjustment. To create a separate window for fresh outlays by MSMEs that cannot qualify for incentives based on larger investments. They are trying to help the sector. What is the sector? MSMEs, by providing certain incentives and going a little off their track so that they can enjoy the incentives and the other things. Moreover, the last one talks about the red tapeism. Moreover, the bureaucratic red tape may have turned into a red carpet, underlined red carpet, for some large investors. So this is a new nice concept in the sense, when a small entrepreneur goes, he may experience red tapeism. When a big player goes, he may get a red carpet welcome. What is the meaning of red carpet welcome? Grand welcome. Quite opposite. A red tape, negative. A red carpet, positive. For some large investors. But for smaller firms, getting a project off the ground is not easy yet. All said and done. Today also it is not easy for a small player to get the project off the ground. It is not easy to make the project take off. Because of what? A red tapeism. Have you got the concept? That's all about the editorial. I thought of 15 minutes, but it has taken, though I have done very fast, about 20 minutes. Let us go to exercises. First, you have a look quickly at the idioms and phrases, meanings match with idioms extremely slowly. What is the answer? Please write the letter E at a snail's pace, moving extremely slowly. A very good start to something, quickly making good progress. What is the answer? D is the answer. Get off to a flying start. Get off to a flying start means something happens quickly and it takes off immediately. It got off, the project got off to a flying start. Immediate progress you can see. What is the third one here? Become more popular or accepted. A, to gain ground. The idea has gained ground. The product has gained ground. And what is the next one here? An important discovery or event. Make a breakthrough or have a breakthrough. We also use the verb get, G-E-T. They got a breakthrough. It goes with the field of science and technology. And what is the last one here? To improve a position by going past others quickly. This we got yesterday. Leapfrog, you should be able to answer. One or two familiar, a few new ones. Now let us go to, today not 5 questions, only 4 questions based on error location. Read and tell me where the error is. You have to tell the part because I have divided the sentence. Just tell me the first part, second part, third part, or fourth part. In addition, India and Greece, once plundered by colonial powers, have also held discussions on the restoration of artifacts. Have also hold or have also held. So where is the error? Third part, hold is not correct, change it to held. Any perfect tense in either active voice or passive voice, we have to use a main verb in past participle form. What is the verb here? Hold. Hold, held, held. Go to question number 2. They may find common cause in pushing legislation through UNESCO to help to restore some of the historical property. Help to restore, help restore. Underline the verb help. Which type of verb is it? Causative verb. There are 2 important causative verbs. Though we talk about 4, but exams have been giving only 2. So I want you guys to remember those 2. One is make, the other one is help. So causative verbs do not take the preposition to in active voice. But mind you, they do take the preposition to in passive voice. Here, is it in active voice or passive voice? Active voice. Then you cannot use to. In the third part, through UNESCO, to help restore, strike off the preposition to. I hope you are doing it carefully. I am not writing, I want you to do it. Question number 3. Lauding the landing of Chandrayaan 3, he said, it shows favorable omens. Underline, he said. The moment you see words like said, told, requested, ordered, warned, urged, you have to think of which topic of English grammar. Indirect speech. Here the reporting verb is in past. Then can you use present tense? Present changes to which tense? Past tense. Based on that, which part has an error? Third part. What is wrong with the third part? It is not shows, it should be showed. Question number 4, a lengthy sentence. The absence of high-level contact has meant a lack of close strategic ties on the way India has with other nearby countries in Europe. A little difficult. Tell me the part, you don't have to tell the, first you tell the part. No response. A tough question, question of the day. There is an error in the third part. What is wrong with the third part? Close strategic ties in the way, not on the way. In the way India has with other nearby countries, not on the way. What is the phrase here? The way India has, in the way India has with other countries. Who has got all the 4 correct? Error location. Today I have brought the word map. I would like to spend 1 minute on this. Here I have taken omen. Omen means what? A sign of good or bad going to happen in future. And not exactly related to that. I have taken the negative context, something bad. Based on that, I have brought all the negative words that are part of religion. What is the first one? Haunt. Haunting house means what? It is a house that belongs to a ghost or a spirit. Have you heard of this haunted house? Haunting house. And it has 2 different meanings, haunt. I think I told yesterday, I don't remember the batch. One meaning, it goes with ghosts and spirits. When you visit an abandoned house, what is an abandoned house? No one lives over there. Then you may experience some paranormal activities and spooky incidents. Then you say, there's a ghost in the house and it becomes a haunted house. But haunt means, imagine you spend 1 year, God forbid, means it should not happen. 1 year hard work, in the exam, not even 5 questions you could answer. A very tough paper. After leaving the exam hall also, those questions keep hitting you. Then you say the paper is haunting me. Have you got the other meaning? Okay. Occult. Occult, it is like a movement. It goes on the negative side of religion. All these words, occult, witchcraft, voodoo, superstition, neutral word, black magic, sorcery, all underline one group: occult, witchcraft, voodoo, black magic, sorcery. So each voodoo goes with African, Central American, Caribbean islands. They use the word voodoo, but those are blacks actually. They practice African religious and magical rites. And black magic around the world, witchcraft around the world, including our country. Sorcery also goes with African countries. All these, a witch. What is the typical image of a witch? I hope you guys are with me. Witch, a typical image we have, an old lady who uses a broomstick and she flies sitting on the broomstick. Have you got the image? We call that lady a witch, and she practices black magic, that is known as witchcraft. Voodoo, black magic, sorcery, more with African continent. Let us go to close test. Have a look at the context, familiar context. See, initially I am doing this to encourage you people, but after a week or so, it is going to be higher level. What is the higher level? We worked on this yesterday. So today you have the blanks, you have the words rather easy. But higher level, next level, same editorial, yesterday's editorial without the words. But the final stage, every day if you take the Hindu paper, there are 2 editorials on the left. I bring only one. Both the editorials important. I may bring questions based on the second editorial. Do you understand what I say? That is like you can work indirectly on 2 editorials. Obviously, it is beneficial. Have a look at this and try to answer. While connectivity between the 2 countries was what? Tell the letter. Forged or it is Forged is a word, obviously. D is the answer. Have you said D? Yes? While connectivity between the two countries was forged by Alexander's invasion in 326 BCE, exchanges now have been mainly predicated on tourism, trade, and migration of labor without a more comprehensive bilateral strategy at play. So what is the answer here? A. Comprehensive means exhaustive, holistic. Speaking to the Greek newspaper Kathimerini, Mr. Modi hoped that India's ambition to become a global manufacturing hub could now be melded. E is the answer. Blended with Greece's aspirations to become an economic gateway to the EU. In addition, India and Greece once plundered by what powers? Colonial powers. Fourth one you have to use C, and fifth one you have to use F. Plundered by colonial powers, have also held discussions on the restoration of B artifacts. Try to answer. We have done with all the exercises, 3 exercises. See here, we still have 5 minutes, but before I wind up the session, I've got something important to tell. Off chasing.